Hi guys, this is Erica from Gokce Capital.
Now before I begin, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on notifications. In the 1960s, Disney was flush with success from Disneyland and looking for a location for a second, grander theme park. During a tour of Central Florida, he spotted 27,000 acres of swamp for sale near the still small town of Orlando. At a bargain price of $180 an acre, about $1,300 an acre in today's dollars, the owner of the waterlogged property was unaware that his land had attracted the attention of the wealthy businessman. Disney was worried that the price would skyrocket if he or someone associated with him inquired about the property. So Disney turned to an obscure legal construct to hide his identity during the purchase. The tool he used was a land trust. Also known as an Illinois land trust, this legal construct was first engineered by Chicago businessmen and politicians in the late 19th century to facilitate often shady real estate deals. In fact, as late as 1987, a Chicago alderman, Thomas E. Keene, was convicted of hiding his ownership in over 1,000 tax-delinquent properties and using his political position to clear the tax liens from the properties at a bargain and selling them to the Chicago Housing Authority at an inflated cost. And he was able to do all of this by using a land trust to hide his interest in the properties. Yet for all of its shadowy history, the land trust has made a surprising transformation in recent years, which I'll cover at the end of this video. But perhaps even more importantly, the land trust has also become more widespread among property owners for its ability to ease the difficulty of transferring property upon an owner's passing. So if you are looking to purchase property or already own property and are thinking about transferring it to a land trust, here are some of the things you should know. Number 1, a land trust is an arrangement where one party holds property for another's benefit. There will be a trustee who holds legal and equitable title. Still, the benefit of the property goes to the beneficiary or beneficiaries. The identities of the trustee and the beneficiary are laid out in a trust agreement, which also dictates all of the terms and conditions and responsibilities of the trustee. The purpose of setting up such an arrangement was originally to shield the beneficiary from certain legal proceedings and public exposure. But today, the benefits are a little more widespread. Number 2, land trusts can protect your privacy. And this was the original purpose of a land trust. Land trusts are able to do this because the identity of the beneficiary is only outlined in the trust agreement, which is not of public record. The deed, or the document of public record, will only indicate that the property has transferred to the trust, and it will be the trustee who signs any public documents of record in order to sell, purchase, or lease the property. Number 3, land trusts make transferring land easier. Now today, this is one of the primary reasons that someone would want to transfer a property to a land trust, or to a trust in general, really. And this is because the beneficiary of a land trust can be changed without recording a new deed. The change will be made in the trust agreement, which is again not of public record. An added benefit here is that because a new deed doesn't need to be recorded, recording and transfer taxes do not need to be paid when a beneficiary is changed. Having said this, if the trustee is going to be changed, that will usually require some kind of public document, such as an affidavit of successor trustee, in order to ensure that title remains clear. Number 4, you generally don't need to probate land trust property. This is for the same reason that transferring property in general is easier with a land trust. Beneficiary succession should be indicated in the trust agreement, and thus a formal probate process, which looks at a will to indicate who an heir will be, is not required for properties in a land trust. Number 5, there are some clear benefits to a land trust, but it's important to understand that placing property in a land trust does not shield you from property taxes. Ownership will be listed in county records in the name of the trust, and the county will usually list the trustee's name as well, and the trustee will receive tax bills and will usually be the person responsible for paying the taxes, but the funds will likely come from the beneficiary, although this will depend on the particulars laid out in the trust agreement. It's also important to note that you, as the beneficiary in a land trust, are not entirely protected from liability. Laws again vary from state to state, but courts in many states have ruled that beneficiaries, not trustees, are ultimately liable for the direct management of the property. Courts can also subpoena information from the beneficiary. However, having said this, another benefit of a trust is that when multiple people want to purchase property together, a land trust helps shield beneficiaries from any liens or suits brought against a co-beneficiary. So if you were to purchase property directly with someone else, and a creditor comes after your co-owner's assets, that creditor may still be able to place a lien on the property and thus impede your ownership and enjoyment of the land in question. However, with a land trust, creditors are often only able to go after your co-beneficiary's interest in the trust. Your interest and overall trust management will not be affected. For this reason, many people choose to use a land trust when purchasing property with fellow investors. And finally, as with property taxes, placing a property in a land trust does not shield you from income tax obligations. Beneficiaries are still required to file Form 1041 with their tax return and pay taxes on any income they have received from their interest in the property. So there you have it. Land trusts have been used throughout the years for various reasons, whether that is to facilitate shady land deals or allow a property owner to more easily transfer their interest in a property to their heirs. But in the last few decades, the idea of what a land trust is has gone through even more robust changes. And today, you will also see the term land trust used in connection with conservation and affordable housing groups, although this kind of land trust is very different. In these situations, you are talking about a charitable organization or nonprofit holding land for a specific public benefit, such as for conservation, affordable housing, or to ensure community stewardship of the land. And you as a landowner may want to look into these sorts of charitable land trusts as well, because if you are thinking about what happens to your assets when you pass away, one option is to place the property in a trust or land trust in order to make transfer easier for your heirs. Another may be to donate land to a charitable land trust and receive a tax deduction for this donation. But do you have any stories about land trusts? Let us know in the comments. Did you like this video? You're going to love our Gokce Land Due Diligence program. We'll make you a land due diligence expert in just 7 days. Check it out at gokcecapital.com/glad. And while you're at our website, don't forget to explore our $1 down properties at gokcecapital.com/listings. Finally, don't hesitate to reach out with any questions. You can email, call, or text, and we will respond as soon as possible. So thank you for listening, and more to come.